Good morning, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche. I wanted to talk to you this week about monarch butterflies. So for those of you who attended our butterfly habitat workshops that Denny Brooks gave, or who came to visit in our store in Midland, Michigan and saw the monarch caterpillar or chrysalis that I had, I wanted to share with you. Here she is, a beautiful female monarch, emerged over the 4th of July weekend. I'll be releasing her today back into the habitat where I found her. Lots of common milkweed plants here in a ditch near my house. So what I think everyone should know about monarch butterfly is that they're in a lot of trouble. Their numbers have been plummeting over the last at least 20 years. We've seen a 90% decline in their population, and that is due mostly to loss of habitat and habitat fragmentation. So the loss of plants in the landscape, like our common milkweed, other milkweed species. Monarch butterfly requires milkweed species to be able to lay their eggs and for their caterpillars to eat that vegetation. That's what they've evolved and are highly adapted to do. And without milkweed in the landscape, this species just isn't going to survive. They also need lots of other native wildflowers, our native prairie species, to nectar on as adults. So habitat fragmentation, the promotion and use of Roundup Ready agricultural crops that with the corn and soybeans, where we spray and just kill kind of all the additional plant growth on the edges or in between the rows of those fields, that's really harmed this species. The loss of our grassland habitats through development and fire suppression and kind of reforestation of what used to be very open areas. Those have all contributed to this species decline. And when I talk about our natural heritage, this is a great example. This is a beautiful, iconic Midwestern butterfly, a prairie flagship species that used to be very, very common, and they really could use our help right now. So I don't want to be all doom and gloom. I wanted to talk about what we can do to help monarch butterfly species. So one of the things, most important things we can do is preserve milkweed in our landscapes. If you already have it, don't pull it. Leave it for this species to be able to enjoy. And also plant different species of milkweed. You know, pick ones that are adapted to your site conditions so they'll thrive and do well. And plant nectar species for the adults, our native wildflowers. Avoid the use of pesticides, and when you're putting native plants back in the landscape, make sure you're choosing seed and plants that haven't been treated with pesticides, especially insecticides like neonicotinoids, which can harm the health, kill butterflies and the caterpillars as they eat the treated vegetation. So that's a huge thing you can do. You can also monitor monarch populations. You can search for eggs and larvae and adults and report those as a citizen scientist. And you can educate others. You could rear monarchs, at least right now, while they're not federally listed. You can rear monarchs and teach others about why they're important and what we can do in the landscape to support them. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't gone to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service website, Save the Monarchs. Look that up, and it talks about as an individual, as a community, as a farmer, as a utility, a road rights-of-way manager, what you can do to help create habitat for and support this species. So there are groups like Journey North and the Monarch Larval Monitoring Project, Xerces Society, lots of places where you can look, you can monitor and help federal agencies, wildlife habitat groups, monarch specialists understand what's going on with this species. And if you didn't know, this species has been proposed for federal listing under the Endangered Species Act. Last I heard, the decision on that should be this December of 2020. And so it is in serious danger, and it's really important for us to do what we can in our own landscapes and our own yards to help support this species. So I wanted to share with the folks who had seen her as a caterpillar and a chrysalis, and kind of share the joy of getting to see her as an adult. And I'm releasing her back into the habitat. So I hope that gives you a good start to your Monday, and good luck finding monarchs in the landscape and planting native plants to support them. Take care.